we already did that last time. What's another musical?
Dude, what the fuck?
Swinger high, sweetie. Hold it to the sky.
Something born to
scuba double
Hold on.
Hi everybody.
I have to log into my Twitch chat. I'm using a new browser. I'm using Opera GX, the browser for gamers.
That's what I be using. Sometimes it works okay, sometimes it doesn't. Will I switch back to Chrome? Maybe. Depends. Who knows?
Who the fuck
No, dude,
knows?
I used it for a bit, and then I went back to Chrome, and I was like, dude, the performance on it was terrible. And then all my friends are like, no, you're a fucking idiot. You just need to do this, this, and this, and it'll work better. So this time I fully committed. I uninstalled Chrome and everything. So even if I don't like it as much, there's no going back now.
Chrome ad block work better than Opera ad block, so I keep Chrome installed.
Yum yum.
That's so real.
Yum yum. Hello, Seb.
There's one thing that I hate.
use it for legitimate anime website.
Oh, hello,
and
Nix.
Also legitimate wrestling website.
Totally
Nix, have they never been here for an UMINEKO stream before?
They stopped by like at the very beginning, and then they just haven't been able to catch one.
Yeah, it's real exciting. You know, we read the words on the screen and we do silly little voices.
Yeah.
And then I complain about plot things because I'm
and then we don't know what the narrator is all of the time.
Yeah, but this time there's an I in there, so I know that it's battle.
Holy fuck. Guys,
yo, he's having memories in first person.
Holy shit.
My
so last time we figured out that 6 people were killed last night. There was left like a weird insignia on the shutter. Balor's parents are dead. Jessica's dad is dead.
Like 6 people dead. Right?
Yeah. Shannon's dead.
Yeah, it was
Sarah. Say your
Shannon.
She dead.
Yeah.
Shannon.
It was mostly all.
I
It
was
was
trying
pretty
to
much all
remember
the
Japanese
adults, right?
name.
Like what? Battler's dad, his dad's brother.
Oh, Battler's not dead.
Shannon. I said Battler's dad.
Oh, my bad.
It was a Freudian slip.
Tee.
Cause there's it was what they got Battler's dad, Kraus. They got the one lady, the orange hair lady, the big bitch, right?
No, Big Bitch is alive.
Yeah, Ava's
she's
still
alive?
alive.
No,
Battler's mom.
Kyrie.
Wait,
Yeah, his mom is dead too, right? Or his stepmom, whatever.
Big Bitch and brunette soy female are both still alive.
Soy female.
That's cray.
You mean dude,
Soy
Femme
Lex.
Akihiko from Persona 3?
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all dead, and then we were kind of recruiting Maria because she's alive to figure out what the fuck those mean, and then she went kind of cuckoo.
Oh yeah, we got that crazy ass art.
Yeah.
Last time.
Do I remember what he's talking about here? No, but I guess we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, woohoo!
I think this is just like freaking out
Well,
from the situation.
is there not a history for? Is there not a chat log we can look at?
Oh, he's get out of my head! Get out of my head!
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah, that's get out of my hand, man.
Basically.
Get out of my hand.
Get out of my head!
All right, are we starting now?
Yeah, let's
what are we
start.
doing?
Yes.
Okay. As I started losing heart, I began to recall a memory from when I was small. It was from when I was very young. I had unfortunately seen a scary occult movie on TV, and for a while, I hadn't even been able to go to the bathroom by myself. That old bastard gave an exaggerated laugh and said this.
Oh shit, I get to play him?
Yay!
Okay.
Flashbacks.
He's here. I got it. His last. I got it. Form here. Get it together, you motherfucker. Okay.
You're a bastard. You hate your son.
You're
Let
sexy.
me just get a.
I don't know about that.
Hey, engineer, can you bring it down 2 dB, like a little in the headphone? Thank you.
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what?
I'm trying to perform here.
Okay.
I'm talking to the audio engineer
okay,
across the. Yeah.
My bad.
Can someone tell post below? He's recording. Tell him to. Can he take a pause?
Post, shut the fuck up!
He's in the booth. He's like, I dare you to do.
Hey! I don't know if the stream
I'm
has
sorry.
heard. I don't know if the stream has heard this, but Post Malone went to my high school. Anyway.
They definitely haven't.
Yeah. Post Malone went to my high school. Well, will I say out loud which? Nope. But anyway, continue.
High School of Cow in Cow Place.
True. All right, the floor
Hey,
is yours.
Battler. Hey, Battler. What do you think? Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. Immediately fucks
Dig
up.
deep. Dig deep.
Hey, Battler. What do you think? Go all out. Fuck.
Why do you think
might
we go
wanna-
all out?
I'm dying.
Read it
Battler.
before you say it.
I did, and I still. I did it twice.
Dude, we're so good at this.
Hey, Battler, what do you think they go to all the trouble to make movies like this about demons and the occult and such? It's because they don't exist. Something that ridiculous can't be found anywhere on the planet. Because they don't exist, people want to see them and go to a lot of effort making them. That's why those occult movies just make me laugh.
That's Battler.
Dude, I don't know.
It didn't. I barely saw the change.
Whatever.
Whatever.
If I were forced to choose, I'd say, rather than demons and monsters, this year's earnings call and angry wives are 100 million times scarier. I'll go further, okay? From my point of view, getting scared is a reactional emotion. Something for people who've got room to relax, both in their hearts and their lifestyles. They had so much free time they didn't know what to do with it, so in order to entertain their mind with unusual emotions, people started creating a culture with demons and the occult and stuff.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye. And then
I'm dead now, peace.
Seriously, why have I been acting so damn thick-headed?
It's genetic.
I was totally taken in. Don't try to mess with me. This is the human world.
oh, you hear that?
Ooh.
Oh,
Music
don't.
change.
I gotta turn it up.
oh,
There we go.
oh.
I don't give a damn about witches, demons, magic circles, and sacrifices. The human who killed Dad and everyone else is still on this island. That's all there is to it, right? The next person who started speaking to my heart was Kirie-san.
You see, in both chess and shogi, when you reach the very, very last stage of the game and get closer and closer to cornering your opponent, the number of optimal moves you could possibly make gets smaller and smaller. Therefore, if you're backing someone against the wall, or if someone's doing the same to you, both players' moves become infinitely easier to read. In other words, when you're completely cornered and you think you have no moves left, that is the moment when it's easiest to read your opponent. However, when a person is forced into a defensive position, they can't help but lose their ability to think clearly, so they aren't able to get their minds around their opponent's moves. That's when you spin the chessboard around.
I really hope they don't say this throughout the whole game over and over.
Right?
With all my strength, I slapped my face with both hands.
He's brothering up.
Now, my eyes were truly open. When you don't understand anything, and you're completely cornered just like I am now, isn't that the perfect time to spin the chessboard around? While on the defensive, we can't even guess at the culprit's scheme. If we spin it around and look at it that way, just what might we see? First off, at the time the culprit committed the murders, they knew the island was being cut off by the typhoon. Therefore, they should have understood that even if they carried out the murders, they wouldn't be able to get away early the next morning. In short, the culprit had begun without securing a way to escape. Furthermore, that bastard tossed the corpses in the storehouse. Then was even kind enough to say, "Here we are," with that weird bit of graffiti. In other words, since we'd probably find the corpses sooner or later, they wanted to show them to us. If we'd all been dim, and hadn't noticed the storage shed, the culprit's goal wouldn't have been achieved, would it? If you think about it this way, that bastard of a culprit, since this morning, they must have been watching our every move with bated breath. After all, if we hadn't been so kind as to discover what was on the storehouse, all of that hard work and preparation they did last night would have just gone poof. What did the culprit want to make us feel by showing us the corpses in the storehouse? All 6 of the bodies had their faces noticeably destroyed. Was it a grudge? A warning? The defacement of the bodies had occurred after death, so it hadn't been the means by which the culprit had killed. It didn't mean anything to those who had been killed. It did have meaning to those who found the bodies. The culprit wanted to make it appear that they had been killed so brutally. Ha! After thinking this way, I really want to tell that bastard to stop taking me so lightly. Who'd just dance to that tune? If you're told, please be scared, you can't just say, really? Sure thing. When someone tells the great Ushinomiya battler, the entrance is right here, I'm the kind of guy who'll start wanting to sneak in through the window.
Let's go battle.
Oh my god.
The next thing that had me concerned was that so-called magic circle on the shutter. As Maria, who had shown that her knowledge of the occult rivaled grandfather's, had recognized, the magic circle was genuine. They must have drawn that thing in pitch-black darkness, taking a lot of time and holding an umbrella in one hand. Isn't that amount of hard work impressive? What purpose would have been worth all of that effort? If we were looking for a fan of the occult in this mansion, most likely all of us would naturally suspect Grandfather. Did they want to make us think Grandfather was involved? But if that's all they wanted, they could have just drawn any old scribble that looked like a magic circle. It wasn't like any of us amateurs would be able to tell the difference between genuine and fake. However, this magic circle was genuine, and furthermore, it had even been written in Hebrew.
Shalom.
So this magic circle had a message that could only be understood by someone with knowledge of the occult.
It was Maria!
A message is a form of communication. By sending it, they were hoping for a reaction. A reaction? For some reason, we couldn't find Grandfather now.
This is all because they took away her puppet.
Real.
Probably. I don't know how Grandfather might have spotted the magic circle on the shutter. But did he choose to hide himself in reaction to that? No. Was it a trap to make us suspect that Grandfather had participated? You could read it either way. Damn, that's annoying. What kind of reaction was the culprit hoping to get out of us by putting on this occult show? Somehow that felt like the culprit's weak point. The letter from Beatrice that Maria had read aloud during last night's dinner sprang back into my mind. This was a freak who'd asked us to enjoy a battle of
A
wits.
freak! You're a freak!
Isn't that interesting? This is a battle of wits between us and the witch. Will we be sucked up by her occult game first? Or will we pull off her fake skin first? There's a whole day until the typhoon passes. Why not enjoy ourselves?
Let's go! Battler, I love you, Battler, I love you, Battler.
I finally noticed that the inside of the parlor had gone quiet again.
He's now endearing to me just because he's like, fuck it, fight me.
Yeah.
That's literally him. He's literally like, fight me! Dude. Umineko when they cry? No, Umineko when they freaky. Freaky
Wow.
Umineko.
What if it was called Umi Frico?
Umi
and they got freaky?
That's so real.
Let's
Umi
deal with
Frico
our
when they
problems
goon.
in a very unhealthy way.
Right? Oh, dude. Okay, sorry, guys. Chat. I'm so sorry. I had a fighting game stream on the side, so I might react to things.
Wow.
Listen, I need my data, and you know what? If I didn't say anything, you would have never known. So I think that speaks to my ability to multitask and my ability as a voice actor. Don't be a hater.
And his honesty and integrity as a human being.
Wow. Everyone had sunk into their favorite sofas. Some deep in thought, some irritated, some acting depressed. Maria was once again enjoying the TV as if she'd never left it.
Freak! Freak! Loser! Witch!
You a freak!
It looked like she found the commercials more fun than the boring program, and she happily yelled ooh ooh and giggled.
Oh.
I stared at each person's appearance in turn. If there isn't a 19th person, the culprit must be in this room.
So Battler's just dogging everybody now.
Yeah.
In his mind.
No,
Like, who did it? Which
No,
one of you fuckers is it?
I like to imagine he's making direct eye contact and he does the cholo lean
No,
back.
yeah, he
with
like
the
he like
chin nod,
fucking stares at all of them individually.
looks at Maria. So
Looks at himself.
Looks in the mirror. What you want, I say.
Right now, on Natsuhi's searching the mansion with the servants, right? And we shouldn't say in this room. In this mansion is where the culprit has to be. After all, it's possible Aunt Natsuhi was behind this. And we still can't deny that one of the servants might be the killer.
Bree, can I commission you to draw Cholo Battle?
That sounds hilarious.
Jesus Christ. I mean, like, if you give me money, I'll draw. If you give
I will pay for that.
Jesus Christ.
Next week, I will legitimately pay for that.
Okay.
That's awesome. Anyone could be guilty. Still, Aunt Natsuhi and the rest sure are taking their time. Of course, it's not a small mansion, but isn't this taking a little too long to just walk around, checking the windows and doors? Just as I was thinking this, Aunt Natsuhi and the rest returned. Not one of them was missing. But our relief was short-lived. Everyone looked at Aunt Natsuhi in shock. The talk I'd had with Aunt Ava started to creep back into my mind. The possibility that the culprits had enough in numbers or weapons to kill all 6 of those at once.
Forgive me if I startled you.
Yeah, she's strapped.
Yeah, she's strapped.
She got a piece.
Yeah, look at
Wait,
her,
is
dude.
that? It's a fucking mare's leg. She has a fucking 45 repeater. That's not a shotgun. She has a goddamn cowboy gun.
Good for her, dude. Good for her.
Goddamn.
Forgive me if I startled you. I brought this to be prepared for the worst.
After all that, the thing in Aunt Natsuhi's hand was a rifle. At a glance, its silhouette looked like a hunting gun. But it was unusually short and kind of looked like a kid-sized weapon.
What a fucking mare's
Maria! I knew it. However, it had a weightiness to it that made it clear it was no kid's toy. He said it was child-sized, so Maria did it. Duh.
What? Yeah, totally. That gun is Kinzo-san's, isn't it?
Of course, Kinzo would be strapped.
Do you know about it? That's right. Room. I remembered it was in Father's old collection, and I managed to find it.
Whoa! Awesome! Natsuhi-san, is that thing real?
Yes, it's real. It can fire live ammunition. Long ago, Father used it to scare away wild birds.
He was not scaring away birds with 45
that
long
takes me
Colt.
back. Where did you find that thing? No matter how much I asked him to let me touch it, he never let me lay even one finger on it.
That would turn a bird
Oh,
into paste.
grandfather had one of these? I didn't know that. Long ago, grandfather was really addicted to cowboy films. That generation really liked this kind of rifle. Okay, George.
George is me! George is me!
For real!
Is that a Winchester? I've never seen one that short before.
Ah, I remember, it's that gun. That really takes me back. That's the one Steve McQueen fired off and wanted alive or dead. Father sure had good taste.
Let's go.
It is an item the master ordered specifically from America long ago. As you can see, it is a working gun, so please don't tell anyone about this.
He's got an
Chat, for
illegal
those of you who don't know, guns are illegal in Japan.
He's got an illegal firearm.
That's
Let's
epic.
go.
That's so epic.
He was quite fond of it after he managed to acquire it. It seems the workings that ejected the cartridges were more interesting to him than shooting it. And he played around with it back in the forest all the time.
Still, it's rather disturbing. Are you sure you should be dragging this out? This is to prepare for the worst. There is probably more than one offender involved. Furthermore, those horrible people killed 6 of us, including my husband. I have a responsibility to protect everyone until tomorrow, in my husband's place.
As Natsuhi-san said this, she slumped down into one of the sofas and took a deep breath.
Oh?
She had been trying to find grandfather, as well as check the doors and windows.
Not the alert!
Amber
Help!
Alert went out for a guy named Kinzo looking for Beatrice. Elderly man
What the
spotted
fuck?
naked on the side of the road, screaming "Beatrice!"
What the fuck? Not the emergency alert.
See, this is why I keep my ringer off.
Anyway.
There are no emergencies. Nothing ever happens. Since grandfather wasn't with her, she probably still didn't know where he was.
I carefully checked all of the doors and windows throughout the mansion. However, we must be prepared for anything. Everyone, I think it would be best if we all remained here. Oh, good point. If everyone's gathered here, then we can all feel more secure by keeping an eye on each other. What do you mean by that, Ava-san? Nothing really. I'm just agreeing with your opinion, aren't I?
There was a stormy atmosphere between the two of them. If you think about who was the most suspicious from the inheritance problem standpoint, Aunt Ava was the obvious answer. However, there was no proof that Aunt Natsuhi was innocent. No, if you view Beatrice's letter as one of Grandfather's complicated pranks, then think of this scheme as just an extension of that. There's more than enough reason to suspect even Grandfather. Oh my god, guys, it could be anybody. I think we've made this clear. Also, Aunt Natsuhi thought the criminal was on the outside, but Aunt Ava thought the criminal was on the inside. In short, it was the question of whether or not a 19th person exists. That same question has been repeated endlessly since last night's dinner, with the letter from the witch who called herself Beatrice. So was the culprit among us, or not?
Among Us!
Guys, among us, am I right?
Among
And
Us,
did the
Among
witch
Us.
Beatrice exist? Or not? Jesus, dude. Like, let's be honest, we all know she's gonna be real. If you assume that something as stupid as a witch can't exist, you're basically saying that one of these relatives here who share a common bloodline is the culprit. If that was too unpleasant, it'd be much more comfortable to simply accept the fairy tale-like character of the witch. A witch? A witch drawing a bizarre magic circle and offering human sacrifices? If I could accept that rubbish, I'd be able to trust all the people in this room.
Choose an ethnicity battler, for fuck's sake.
However, damn common sense got in the way. Feeding that witches don't exist. In that case, the culprit must be among us.
Among Us.
In the middle of the seemingly endless rain, none of us could break the silence.
Do you guys
Ah,
see? Do you
there it
guys
is.
see that? Do you guys see that in the? Does those look like bullet holes to you? Anyway.
I think that's a red herring.
I think you're a red herring.
Okay, dude.
You can read my.
Dude, what does that even mean? Would you like to share with the class?
Wow, you're saying they're non-essential in your life and just sort of a side. Wow, that's
No,
what's
no,
a
I
nice
was
thing
saying
to
no,
say
no, I
something
was saying that you
is.
could read my herring. You can.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Would you like to share with the class?
So.
Why is your mic sound so fucking staticky on
Huh?
my
Yeah,
end?
it's a little jittery.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if.
Goodbye. It's
No, we're
over.
back.
It didn't seem to be that way on stream, which is freaking weird. Hello.
Yeah, because I definitely still hear it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
What?
It is just the taddest bit grating.
But it's not on stream. That's so weird. Okay, well, entertain the masses while I fix this.
Well, okay.
Doing a
All
little
right, quick. How do we be entertaining?
you just kind of talk about stuff.
Chat, what did you guys do today? Cause what I did today, I went with Artsy and we went outside of the house to go pick up my prescription. Being able.
Hello. Interesting.
And they said we don't have your prescription in from the doctor's office that you said, my surgeon. And I was like, huh, that's weird. So I went and called them, and the receptionist at my surgeon's office was all, yeah, I just went and checked with them. And this is after I've been on hold for 10 minutes. She said, oh, I just went and checked with them. They're sending them out, like, right now. And I was like, okay, it'll probably take a while to process that, so we'll just go home. And then, like, 2 hours later, I get a text. Yeah, your prescription is ready at the pharmacy you were just at.
Hello?
Oh boy. I have to deal with that stuff all the time. Oh, it's much better now, I think.
Yeah. You got my weekly HRT
Okay.
injection. I forget, Nix. Are you on E or T?
Nix is on E.
That's fire.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. We good? Let's go.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna-
It'd be helpful if we could see the game.
I'm gonna tren and clen and go to the gym and become neat.
Hell yeah. Dude, I like this kitchen. They got the little soap bottle with the
Tag
dude,
yourself,
they got those
I'm the
things that
ladle.
Yeah.
Yeah, tag yourself. I'm the ladle.
I'm
I
that
see a soup pot. I call
I'm
soup
that
pot.
I'm that fucking trash can in the bottom left corner of the frame.
Yeah, I see
Right
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Soup pot next to wine bottle. Soup pot.
Oh, yeah, right there behind the text.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I like that.
that's fire.
Lunch ended and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. The wind and rain neither weakened nor strengthened, and the island remained cut off from the outside world. At first, it seemed as though Natsuki planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room. But when it came to prepare lunch, she finally realized this would be impossible. However, in order to avoid anyone... Whoa, that tripped me up. In order to avoid having anyone alone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of that, the servants were the first ones given the right to leave the stuffy parlor, which had been packed with 11 people. Since breakfast had immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating lunch, or eating much, everyone tore into their lunches in silence.
I will wash the dishes so you can rest around, Kanan-kun, Genji-san. Do you want something to drink?
I don't need anything. Cannon?
I don't need anything either.
You two must have been so busy and so early in the morning. It's no wonder you're worn out.
Oh, the third person.
Yippee!
The only noise was that of Kumasawa washing the dishes, which resounded through the kitchen. Oh, the frickin' ice cream truck is here.
Ice cream! Ice cream! We gotta get ice cream!
Genji and Kanon sat in some chairs a short distance away, their eyes lightly closed. Just as Kumasawa had said, those two had probably built up a great deal of fatigue. But that didn't mean they could let it show in front of the relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues.
Wait, Nix, you're so right. Hold on, what's your ice cream truck order? Mine's just SpongeBob ice cream. Or the Sonic ice cream.
I would always get the what is it, the strawberry shortcake bar.
I never got ice cream. I got the fucking mango powder stuff and
What?
and a couple chili suckers.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, classic.
I always got
Classic.
the Mexican candy. And people made fun of me and called me poor for it. And I was like,
No!
"It's good.
Dude, yeah, they're
Talk
good.
about
They
it.
taste nice. Like, what do you mean, bro?
What the flick?
The chocolate one
Otherwise,
with the peanuts.
Fire.
Otherwise, I just get the regular bomb pop.
True.
Yeah. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. I did realize that.
Yeah.
After the silence had continued for some time, Kanon opened his mouth and muttered.
Shannon, why did she have to die in such a horrible way?
Forget about the manner of her death. It was nothing more than bad luck.
Ooh, do you guys hear this shit?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
You're right. It was nothing more than bad luck.
They both fell silent once again. Kanon's expression was filled with grief.
To think that Shannon-chan's actually dead. I still can't believe it. Poor thing. Not being able to see her again feels like a lie. I just wanted to see her smiling face one more time.
Kumasawa spoke with her back facing them. After all, Kumasawa hadn't seen Shannon's corpse, so she had no trouble mentioning Shannon's face. When Cannon heard those words, it reminded him again of how only half of Shannon's face had been left, and his grieving expression twisted even further.
Why did Beatrice-sama do that to Shannon? If she wanted a sacrifice, there were plenty of others to choose from. Why? Why?
It was nothing more than bad luck. If we were less lucky, you or I might have been out lying there instead of Shannon. Could have been someone else entirely. Everything is left to fate.
Genji-sama, you said the door to Madame's room was stained with traces of something like blood, right? The same substance that was painted on the shutter.
Indeed, it was an unsettling mark. Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had been trying to pull out the doorknob. No, scratched through the door. That sort of unpleasant mark.
So does this mean Beatrice-sama came to visit Madame's room and tried to open the door? But couldn't?
Genji thought back to the time he had seen those traces of blood on the door to Natsuhi's room. With the substance sticking to the door around the doorknob and the marks of something scratching against the door. It had definitely appeared as though someone had tried to open the door, but couldn't.
My bad, that was crazy.
I acted through it.
You are boss. You're God.
How
Boy.
did the Madame avoid being chosen as a sacrifice? If only she'd been chosen, Shannon wouldn't have had to die.
Oh!
Just then, a loud, sharp noise came in from the hall.
Oh my god!
Both of them turned around, surprised.
Oh yeah! Oh!
That's a pretty interesting chat you're having there.
Oh my god.
Let me join in too.
You fucking douchebag.
Hey!
Before any of the servants realized it, Battler was standing in the doorway to the kitchen.
Battler-sama, how rude of us.
Oh man, you ready to monologue? Any?
Okay.
Okay.
Genji-san and Kanon-kun stood up, surprised and hastily bowed.
Oh.
Oh, it was him!
How were we supposed to know?
I'm off to take a cigarette break.
But I didn't care about stuff like that. Excuse me, I had something in my throat. I was more concerned with continuing their discussion. I told them I was going to the bathroom, so they let me go. I thought I'd suffocate if I was locked up in that room any longer. I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but then I overheard something pretty interesting. You don't need to bow your heads or anything. Please let me hear the rest. That just now wasn't really... I've been listening to you for a while. Don't try to hide it now. So I'll ask directly. Who is this Beatrice? She's supposed to be a witch from a kid's story, but it doesn't look that way now. Kanon-kun averted his gaze. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this, which only made me want to ask even more. While making an effort to smile, I grabbed the collar of his shirt.
Oh my god.
Last night, this would have been none of my business. But after this morning, everything's changed. Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business. I have the right to listen to this suspicious story, don't I? I glared into Kanon's eyes as he continued to avert his gaze in apparent pain. Since there was a big difference in our heights, Kanon had to stand on his toes, and it looked like it hurt a bit.
Battler-san, please let go of him. Kanon-san isn't really hiding anything.
Then you won't have any problem talking about it, right? It's lonely being out of the loop, you know.
Fight the old lady, yeah.
Yeah.
When I tried to further twist up his collar, Genji-san cut between us and spoke. In his expression were faint traces that he'd made up his mind to do something. Apparently, he had no intention of hiding it.
I can tell you about it. Canon only hesitated because you might have taken it badly, Battler-sama.
Hesitating, huh? Not very manly of you. Whatever it is you're talking about, it's even more unpleasant having it kept secret. Tell me about it. It's not like we have anything better to do before tomorrow comes.
All your characters are in one room.
Yeah.
A slightly spooky story might be the best way to avoid getting bored.
I really hope George's dad doesn't come in unexpectedly.
Shadowing? Genji-san and Canon-kun looked at each other, then nodded as though they decided to talk.
Understood. Please ask us anything. We will talk.
Right. Then I'll ask. Who in the world is Beatrice? All I know is that she's a witch who lives in the forest of Rokinjima. I've heard it's a story grandmother or someone invented to keep people out of the dangerous forest. Is that wrong?
No, it isn't wrong. It's as you say. Beatrice is a witch who dwells in the forest of Rokinjima.
Battler-sama, I don't expect you to believe this all of a sudden, but Beatrice-sama exists. She is a real person, the one who gave the master a vast amount of gold and who worked by his side for many years.
Hi, Adam. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Huh? Oh, come on! Is grandfather paying you to repeat everything he says? I laughed like it was a joke, but neither Genji-san nor Canon-kun laughed. Not even Kumasawa Ba-chan, who was avoiding my eyes, flustered as she started washing the dishes. So, unfortunately, I was the only one laughing. Painfully, bitterly. I see. That's why Genji-san refused to mention it. If you really mean it, of course I'd take it badly. So you're saying that a person named Beatrice actually exists?
Yes. She has been working for the master since before the mansion was built on this island. She has most likely been working for him even longer than I have.
What do you know? Kyrie-san's theory was off. Grandfather really did have a confidant called Beatrice. Is that person on the island now?
Yes, I believe that she is here.
That's a vague way to say it. I guess that means you haven't seen her face today or yesterday.
That is correct. It is extremely difficult to say, but,
Canon-kun once again dropped his gaze, avoiding my eyes. Come on, don't just stop there. That's like freezing an inch before the blow, right? I urged him on jokingly again. However, it looked like Canon was still confused as to whether he should speak or not. Then Kumasawa Ba-chan whispered.
You cannot see her face, because Beatrice-sama has no form.
She has no... What did you say?
Beatrice-sama has no body. Therefore, unless Beatrice-sama wishes it, people like us are not able to see her form.
I have heard that the portrait shows what Beatrice-sama looked like back when she had a human form. It seems he yearned for that figure so much, he would often stand in front of that portrait.
Probably spilled a lot of nuts on that painting.
Ew. That's the varnish. That's...
Beatrice-sama shows herself by changing her form into glittering butterflies. On the rare occasion that you spot them somewhere in the mansion, there's a rule that you absolutely mustn't chase after them.
Guys, I don't know if you remembered this, but there was butterflies before Shannon died.
I do remember.
They
made a point of pointing out. So I think
Yeah, this game really likes to ramble on about one thing for like 20 minutes at a time, so I did remember.
It is whispered that you will meet with disaster if you do. In fact, there was a servant who broke that rule and quit because of a great injury.
Wait a sec. Are you kidding me? Are you all serious about this?
Battler-sama, Beatrice-sama has already arrived. Such language may be unwise.
Beatrice-sama does not like it when she is profaned. If you doubt her existence, you will surely meet with disaster.
Battler-san, you probably find this topic unpleasant. But you know what? Beatrice-sama does exist.
She exists. Beatrice-sama hates people who doubt that.
Can't you tell, Battler-sama? Beatrice-sama has already arrived here.
Come on, quit it. I'm weak against that stuff. Enough with the cheap threats. However, there was no trace of a joke in the eyes of the three servants. On the surface, I laughed and tried to look unconcerned, but I was quickly starting to sober up. Their eyes were also sobering up fast.
Battler-san, I beg that you stop profaning Beatrice-sama. Please trust me.
Kumasawa Bachan, who was usually cheerful and would always tease people, now spoke with a totally serious face. Well, even if you say she exists, I don't see anything. Are you trying to say she's standing right next to me or something? Quit joking around.
Hey, girl!
Uh-oh.
Just then, that unnerving laugh suddenly filled the kitchen. Yippee! Hello, little girl.
Hello, little girl!
When I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance. But her expression and the feeling about her presence, felt exactly the same as the servants.
Whether your wavelength matches or not is determined at birth. Battler, you were born with a mismatched wavelength. You're a freak!
Yeah, whatever.
That's why you can't see her. That's why you can't meet with her. And that's why you can't talk to her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most.
Maria laughed like it was funny, but it sounded extremely eerie. It was almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand.
Do you want to know about Beatrice? Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch. With all of the demons at her command, she can harness the power of alchemy to create the Philosopher's Stone and a vast quantity of gold.
Bro, Full Metal Alchemist?
Grandfather built up all the vast wealth of the Yoshinomiya family by making a contract with her.
Battler, they put me in a suit. I'm stuck.
Yesterday I read Beatrice's letter, didn't I? That was real. Well, I guess it's pointless for me to try and force you to believe. After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense.
I don't understand. Why? How come when she's talking about Beatrice, her IQ, like, doubles?
I don't know, man. That's just her hyperfixation.
Because she's like all the other times she's like borderline slow.
Yeah.
And then she all of a sudden she's like fucking like.
Except for when she talks about paranormal shit.
Yeah, that's just her hyperfixation, man.
My game theory is that Beatrice is, since she doesn't have a physical form, she's like fucking inside of her and like taking her over somehow like a poltergeist.
Me talking about Monster Hunter. That's.
Wow.
Are you saying
That's
Maria's
fire.
gonna start like vomiting and head snapping 360?
I'm ugly good.
Maybe. Wow. What are you talking about? Witches? Demons? Who told you about that?
I heard it from Beatrice herself.
Maria kept doing that unpleasant laugh. However, the servants who watched over this didn't even blink. She heard it from that witch in the portrait adorning the entrance hall. Maria kept on laughing in a weird voice, as though this was nothing more or less than the truth. Maria, it might be rude to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay? Who gave you that letter yesterday?
I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand? You don't get it, do you? You can't see it. You can't believe it, can you?
Just then, Maria's laughter suddenly stopped.
Battler, you still don't understand. Beatrice-sama exists.
Holy fuck, I think we get the point. She exists, you say, but where?
Like I said, Beatrice-sama exists here.
That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling for a while now that the servants' eyes haven't been pointed in quite the right direction. I'd figured they were just staring absent-mindedly, but that wasn't the case. Before here, Genji-san, Kanon-kun, Kumasawa-san, and Maria, everyone except me, was looking at a spot right behind me. Holding my breath tightly, I slowly looked over my shoulder. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I've known that the whole time. However, everyone in the room except me was focusing on that point as if there was someone there.
Beatrice is the mighty Golden Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years. But since she can't show her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them. And you know what? That's really sad. It means she truly despises it when people like you, who were born without a fragment of the ability needed to sense magic, deny that she exists. You're lucky, Battler. Good thing I gave you that charm yesterday, right? Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you by now if you hadn't been carrying it around? You really are lucky, Battler.
Oh, that scorpion keychain. I thought that was just some cheap gift or something. But are you saying it really had some power?
If it weren't for that, you'd be lying in that storehouse as a sacrifice with your face crushed by now. You're so lucky, Battler.
Chat, I don't know about you, but I'm sorry. The whole kid being creepy thing never does it for me. It has never scared me.
She's just silly.
Like, why is it supposed to be scary? I don't. Is it just because kids are pure or whatever?
Well,
so when they're being creepy, it's like, oh my God.
It's a little bit more scary because, well, I mean, I guess not scary but unsettling with Maria because she really is simple outside of this. So you're kind of like,
I guess so. I don't know. It's just kind of annoying, bruh, to be honest.
I think it's silly.
I like the way they did the slow burn with it.
I think
No,
it's
like
silly.
I don't have a problem with
thing.
the way it's delivered. I'm just talking about the trope itself.
It's a trope I don't engage a lot with, so I don't mind it when I see it.
Same.
I get what you're saying. I see. So if it weren't for that, I'd have been killed by now.
Battler, why don't you believe in Beatrice? Even though she exists. Right now, over there, look! Hey, I bet you want to believe it now. Believe it, and thank me for giving you that charm. If it weren't for that, you'd be in the storehouse right now. But then, maybe you would have saved someone else in exchange, right?
Oh,
Right then, I burst into laughter. Playing witches had been pretty fun up until a second ago, but unfortunately, that last one seemed to be too much for me to gloss over. And it's all useless, isn't it, Maria? If that's true, then I'm sorry, but it's all useless. When Maria saw me suddenly start laughing, she stopped. Even though she didn't understand what I was laughing at, she realized it wouldn't be pleasant for her. I thought it might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but... Well, I thought I'd put that charm you gave me in my pocket. But I must have dropped it somewhere. So the charm can't be the only reason I'm alive now. And even though I should have been cursed by the witch, I'm perfectly fine. Sorry, but I don't believe in things I don't see with my own eyes. Sixth senses, wavelengths, magic sensitivity? Sorry, but I don't believe in fake stuff like that. When I hear the girls in class start talking about ability to sense the supernatural is, it pisses me off. I don't know how much grandfather is paying you, but if you're trying to talk me into joining some cult, believe me, you won't be able to do it that easily.
oh.
Adelaide-sama. You guys are free to believe whatever you want. However, when it comes to the things I believe, the one who decides is always me. Sorry, but I can't believe in something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen her with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply. Then, Maria started cackling again.
Oh, that's just fine. fine, isn't it? Eventually, even people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths will be able to see Beatrice. Very soon she will revive. Beatrice will revive. Once that happens, she's promised to talk with me and play with me a lot. There'll be absolutely no need for you to doubt, or for us to force you to believe. She will appear very soon.
It's really jarring having missed everything in between. Okay, look, Nix, I can speed you up in like 30 seconds. Basically, there's this really rich family that the main character, Battler, is a part of. And they all come once a year to this big old mansion on a secluded island. There's a typhoon, so they're stuck there for a while and they can't leave. 6 of the adults present got murdered, and they said it was supposedly some magic witch that helped their grandfather make all the money that the family has. And they were theorizing whether or not somebody from the family killed all those people, or if it really was the witch. And now everybody's saying that the witch is real.
The witch is real, the witch is real.
Oh, and grandfather has gone insane and disappeared at this
Yeah,
point.
because he wants to bone Beatrice really bad, so...
She's out in the forest just fucking...
He's looking for her, dude.
He took the portrait with him.
Right?
Grandfather disappeared with a portrait in a jar of Vaseline.
Okay, is it still Battler?
I guess so. Who's to say?
Actually, I don't think it is, because it didn't say that he left the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shayna, I think it's back to you.
Well,
After a meal, some people tend to head to the bathroom, while others prefer to relax for a bit.
Oh, god damn it! Whatever,
I
dude.
figured.
Well, then you should have fought me. You should have been like, no, stupid idiot, it's you.
fight.
You know, stupid. I love you.
Kiss. What?
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 Gross,
What?
dude.
What?
The fuck is wrong with you?
Happy
I'm your
Pride!
boyfriend.
Happy Pride! Happy Pride!
No.
Hey,
No
I'm
happy
fine.
pride. You want me to cheat on you? Is that what you want?
No! I'm joking,
Then
please.
fucking be careful what you ask for, man.
I'm not
Pride.
emotionally ready for that at the moment. So, like,
Well, good.
Ready for that specifically? Like,
Oh my
don't touch me.
Oh, dude. Don't touch me. My personal space. Don't step in my bubble.
This is my no-no square.
Listen, I may be pan, but at the moment, I'm no-no.
No.
No.
It seemed that several people had left the parlor, just like I did when I went to the kitchen to drink some water. In the end, Aunt Natsuhi reluctantly retracted her order that everyone remain packed into the parlor, on the condition that no one headed out on their own or strayed too far. In any case, if 11 people are shut up in the same room starting early in the morning, the air will start to stagnate. Also, quite some time had passed, so everyone was starting to recover from the shock of that morning, and their sense of danger might have been weakening too. However, it was a certain fact that 6 people had been killed inside this mansion, so no one was completely negligent. So whenever they went out into the hallway for a breath of fresh air trying to act tough, they would quickly get scared of standing there, isolated, and would eventually return to the parlor. I guess it's like the north wind and the sun. If you force someone to stay shut in, they'll resist. But if you tell them to do whatever they want, they'll come back obediently. People really do like not doing what they're told. When the servants finished cleaning up from the meal, they returned obediently to the parlor, just as Aunt Natsuhi had told them to, and sat on a sofa near the entrance, patiently waiting for orders. Maria, almost as though she had suddenly finished playing witches, had returned to the pure Maria I knew well, saying ooh ooh.
Oh,
See, I'm telling you,
yeah.
bro. She got like split personality or
Oh
something.
yeah, she really didn't say ooh ooh throughout that whole time. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean that's I feel like that's the most like obvious
Yeah.
thing between like when she's being weird and when she's not. Well, she's always weird. But
She's a little silly.
what in the world happened back there? I hadn't felt even an atom of the presence of this person called Beatrice, who was supposedly standing behind me, invisible. However, it felt like I'd glimpsed a little of that presence inside Maria. Oh, dude, I was so right. I'm so much fucking smarter than the game.
You're right. When Maria starts talking about witches, her personality changes. Battler-kun, you always saw... Blah, 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 blah. You also saw it
I'm
down
sorry,
by
what?
the beach. Can I finish my sentence, dude? God, you saw it at the beach,
you were
right?
you
She
were
freaked out.
stumbling and you made really weird noises. It was kind of off-putting, to be honest.
Your
All
whole
right, I'm sorry, you
thing
can
is
finish, I'm sorry.
off-putting, bro. Like, the whole thing.
Oh, dude,
Anyway.
come on, that's not cool. Seriously, in front of everybody, like.
You want me to bring up the tits again? I'll bring up the tits
Maria's
again.
just drooling.
Dude, okay, look, can we drop it? Look, handshake, shake my hand, shake my hand. We're cool, right?
Shake
We're
my,
good?
look me in the eye. Look at me real quick.
I'm
My
looking,
wife is
you
dead.
see me looking?
Okay,
I'm
my
looking.
wife is dead. My wife, dead.
I
Her
know,
dead. Face
I'm
off.
trying to help you.
Battler, face off.
George Nissan, I'm trying to help. Shake my hand.
All right, well, say your thing about the keychain.
Okay. So you're talking about the keychain, right? No, I don't mean like when her feelings were hurt. I'm talking about her having a dual personality or something.
Oh, hey, I'm here too.
Oh yeah, you are here.
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
thought you died.
No, I'm here. You're just confusing me for your wife. That's really weird, actually. Anyway.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Who's dead?
Her parents, your parents.
Help.
My wife
George is like, my parents are good though.
and the chef guy.
Yeah, no one cares about him. Yeah, that happens sometimes too. People die. That thing when Maria did when she was talking about the magic circle does happen every now and then. It's freaky though.
Apparently, Jessica had spotted that Maria a few times. I just happened to catch it at a bad moment, and was pretty freaked out seeing it for the first time. So what is that? Does Maria have a dual personality or something? Or are you saying that her spiritual sense really is that strong, and she's being possessed by a spirit or whatever?
No, I don't think it's that. Haven't you ever experienced it? When you were small, didn't you ever want to become someone other than yourself?
She has Junibyo.
When humans are born, no one has any individuality. However, when they reach their growth period, their sense of self starts to be born. They want to be different than other people. But since everyone else in their class is learning the same things at the same rate and being forced into the same lifestyle, of course they aren't going to find anything that makes them different from everyone else around them. Once they realize that, the first thing they do is start breaking the rules in what's called their rebellious stage. Since everyone else follows the rules, they want to show off their individuality by breaking them. So even those who try to act tough, mocking everyone around them and calling them childish, can actually be viewed as cute kids searching for themselves, if you look at it that way. Well, I'm lecturing about all this like I'm so smart, but I actually got it secondhand from George Aniki. I myself was one of those embarrassing guys who thought it was cool to act like a little bastard. Well, that was when I was at the age where you try to show off for the opposite sex.
The main feature of growing period lies in an impulse to break away from your life as a kid. Like a chick trying to crack open the shell of their egg. You know what makes children and adults different?
Adults are bigger.
Oh my god! That's it. Sorry, Butler.
Nah, that was what he said.
Yeah.
See?
No. It's experience. And also that. Why would he say it's just... Adults can look down on children because they have very little life experience. The reason they snort at everything children say is because they think kids would know nothing about the real world.
Yeah, I understand that. When you're a kid, you talk like you've got your life all figured out somehow, trying to act like an adult. No matter what kids say, adults just snort at them and say they're too naive or that they'll understand when they get older or something.
Stop projecting.
Well, it's probably true, but to a kid, it's just annoying. Like they're being looked down upon.
I get it. It's a question of knowledge and experience. Well, I guess you're right that there's no reason to respect a person for their age if they've just wasted their lives.
Therefore, during the period when they try to separate themselves from other children, they also try to check on personality traits different from those around them. And if knowledge and experience is what separates kids and adults?
I get it. If they know something no one else knows, it becomes part of their identity.
You know, when I was in elementary school, I learned things no one else knew.
get things no one else had, wear things no one else wore, and became kind of a bit of a hero for it. I'll bet you've done the same thing, Battler.
Yeah. It was definitely an age when I wanted to excel in some skill or other. I see. So that's because I was trying to separate myself from being a child. Or going through my growing period, in other words.
If you put a positive spin on it, the growing period forces you to separate yourselves from others, thereby pushing you to gain skills and knowledge no one else has. This is also interesting from a sociological standpoint, because people hate being like everyone else. They try to learn skills other people don't know. In this way, society can acquire the broad range of skills it needs to survive. The equality of the gods programming is truly surprising. I'm depressed.
My wife!
Well, unique personality traits can also be negative, right? Like if, say, everyone in the class was studying hard, but I was the only one slacking off trying to stand out. Okay, that last bit really was true about me. It's only recently that I've been able to thank the middle school teacher who slapped me after school.
Hell yeah.
But, well, I'd try to jump over things no one else could, sprint as fast as I could, trying to lap those guys with good grades when we did a marathon. I just felt like doing it. It was in my nature that if I couldn't study well, then at least I could get back at them by exercising. I see. So I really did go through a proper growing period.
I guess boys really do tend to focus more on physical stuff. But you know, girls of the same age tend to focus on more on mental, spiritual things. I'll bet there were groups of girls in your classes that got really interested in fortune telling and their spiritual senses.
Yeah, there were. They'd come over asking me for my sign and blood type, and then they'd laugh. Oh, I thought so. Really got on my nerves. No matter which class you go to, girls like fortune telling. Deciding whether your spirit sense is strong or weak, what your sensitivity is, whether you can see the unseeable. That kind of thing definitely happened to me.
That's because fortune telling and spiritual senses are things that aren't taught at school. To girls who tend to be more introverted, it's a genre that's easy to build an identity upon, and one that holds a lot of interest for them.
That's crazy. This is an old ass game, and they're dismantling the fucking the fucking tarot card girlies and the fucking what's your sign girlies.
They're just like me.
That's funny as fuck.
Just like how when boys enter their growing period, they start acting tough and rebel against adults. When girls enter their growing period and have period, they start getting interested in that kind of thing.
That's how I lost a friend in high school, because she was doing her tarot cards and we started going through them, and I was just like, okay, so that card is the same as that card and they're incredibly general. That is a normal part of life. Like, it's just like the
oh, you were criticizing it and she didn't like it?
Yeah, no, she got real mad at me.
That's kind of funny.
Stopped being friends with me.
Unfortunately.
She was the girl who's obsessed with those dragon books, though, so I'm like, I'm glad.
Fire.
Oh, nah, bro, she is fine. She probably got like a double-digit IQ.
Wow.
Oh, God. She had a stripper name, too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll say off stream, but yeah.
Oh,
It's so funny.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Well, I didn't, though.
So, Maria having so much interest in the occult, isn't that rare among girls her age? Even if we accept that, I wonder if it explains that creepy dual personality thing. Actually, I think I probably could accept that explanation more or less.
As you just said, becoming an adult means gaining knowledge and experience. So to gain that, it's necessary for children to learn all sorts of things and break free from childhood. However, there are certain convenient delusions that you see often in the world of children, both now and in the past. Do you know what I mean?
You see it all the time in manga and anime, right? It's kind of like that. Like you've got memories from a previous life that start to resurface. Like you're being possessed by the soul of the great something or whatever.
Ah, or it could be that a sleeping gene gets awakened, or maybe a sealed power or memory returns. There's all kinds.
Or maybe it's culture and, society at large. That's probably the real one.
Perhaps when a society agrees to act a certain way, people will be similar.
Or purposely different, which is also similar.
For some reason, stuff like that's really popular at that age. Why is that?
All of those examples you just mentioned are illusions that let children immediately add to their sum of knowledge and experience. If a 9-year-old girl says she has a 1,000-year-old witch possessing her, she gains a 1,009-year-old identity.
Holy shit, she's trans age, chat.
Fuck. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
No, we don't include those people in Pride. We politely ask them.
Dude,
to
I've never even heard anybody do that. I've heard of
Yeah.
like transracial, which is
Yeah.
also not real.
That's true. Oh
That's
my
because
god.
the trans age people are the pedos.
Oh,
No, oh
good.
no, dude, they call
Really?
themselves, what do they call them? Maps?
Oh, fuck that shit, bro.
Yeah, no, those people
Fuck
should,
that shit,
I think
Map.
those people should perhaps,
And yeah, no, controversial take here. Pedos, bad.
yeah,
Yeah,
guys,
bad.
I hate to be the one to say it, but if you like kids,
You're
die.
bad. You're bad.
Sorry, chat, I know it's a bold claim, but I just had to put it out there. Not to get fucking political.
Not to get political or anything.
You mean in the ring, right? No, in real life.
In real life. Good God. So basically, studying is annoying, but these delusions are convenient for people who want to brag about having a skill no one else has, amazing the people around them.
So you could brag about something without having to work hard or study. I see. Isn't that a kid's greatest dream?
Furthermore, in their desire to separate themselves from being kids, they always project an image of their ideal self. And it's not rare for their desired self to become an alternate personality. Even you, Batlakun, probably had a slightly different personality at home and at school, right? It'd probably be embarrassing if your friends at school saw you how you were at home. And at school, you try to project yourself as you want to be, but home is where you're your true self.
It's actually true, chat, because in elementary school, I had really, really good grades. I know it's so impressive for that age, right? But fucking, I would always like, I did have like a school and a home personality, because I would go to school with my good grades, and everyone would be like, "Wow, you're so smart, Lanny," and I'd be like, "Yeah, what can I say? If you need any help, just let me know." And then I would come home and I'd be a little bitch boy. I'd be like, "Work is hard. Can you help?"
Yeah, similarly, I was the quiet, always correct when picked on kid and would just always go first in presentations and stuff like that. I was always, I guess, teacher's pet, but more in the way of like, if no one else is participating, Shane will.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at home, I was like in the corner of my room under my double bunk bed with blankets all over it to enclose it in, doing voices in the corner. Fucking like,
That's epic.
Fire, dude.
That's
You know,
fire.
if I
Just a
knew you
li-
back
little
then, bro,
fucking goblin.
I would have been at your house under that blanket with you. We would have been
Aw.
doing voices together in our
Yeah.
little Delulu world.
Cute.
It was sick. I had one of those tablets with like a Velcro back, and I had a bunk bed, so it had the bars on the top, so I could like slot the back of it through the bars and fold it back and just lay down and watch
Oh, that's
it.
so fire.
That was
Fuck with
sick.
that.
That's so cool.
So, in other words, I'm changing my personality depending on the situation. Are you trying to say having multiple personalities is actually really common?
A girl who's a fan of the occult might say she's being possessed or awakened. Honestly, there are some kids who change their personalities so much it's creepy.
There was a chick in high school who was like, I get possessed all the time. I do it for fun. I was like, shut the fuck up, bitch. This is the same one who
I literally summon demons in my bedroom. Oh, yeah? I don't know who you are.
she was the one who thought she was cool because she shaved her head and liked 311.
Oh, fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny, bro.
And some boys do it too, right? Guys who say they've blown their top and suddenly turn into some overplayed violent character. I'll bet they think that's pretty cool, but it's painful to watch.
Let's sum this all up. So, you're saying that even if a girl about Maria's age shows a creepy second personality like she did a minute ago, it isn't such a rare or unusual thing?
Simply put, that's right. Identity is a important factor when building up one's sense of self. If you make fun of it, it could actually cause children to go back into their shells. So it's important to go along with them to some degree. Although, broad-mindedness of the parent determines whether they play along in full or not.
Honey, I can't believe you're single. You sound like you've already raised kids through middle school. So, I wonder if Aunt Rosa also knew much about Maria's dual personality.
Or she's just
Maria.
she doesn't care.
Yeah, or she could just be neglectful and
Yeah.
abusive.
She knew about it. Just between us, Aunt Rosa really hated it. She said it was unpleasant and that Maria was becoming increasingly isolated from the rest of the class.
Didn't she beat the shit out of her because of it?
No, she
Yeah.
she beat the shit out of her because she was saying ooh ooh. That was like the base of it, but
Yeah,
Still
but
the other half of her identity, though.
yeah.
Yeah, right, dude, you never seen a kid with a verbal tick? You never seen a kid who's special needs? Christ.
So anytime
Actually, they're rich, so no, they haven't.
True. And also this is the 80s,
This
so
one's
they also
defective.
This one's defective. Send it through the
Darling.
gutter.
Darling, put it back in. It's not done yet.
Oh good god.
Child has something wrong with her. I'd like to return this one, please.
Oh good god. Put it in the factory! Anyway, so anytime Maria started talking about the occult or laughing like a witch, she'd slap her. It looks like Maria stopped talking that way in front of her.
Oh, I was double right. Oh!
Maybe that thing back there was just a little game from a girl facing her growing period. Just a girl trying to show that she was different and independent by holding interest in witches and the occult. And since she wanted to be different from herself, young as she was switching between her normal personality and the personality of her ideal, a witch. At first, I'd found that very disturbing. But after being lectured by George Aniki, it felt like this was a path everyone walked down at one time or another. I haven't told anyone, but when I was in kindergarten, I joined up with a little gang of kids trying to form an Earth Defense Force, saying we'd help protect peace on Earth.
Dude, he was playing Warrior Cat.
My face turns red when I remember how, during what we called battle practice, we would chant EDF, EDF!
Wow.
Just like usual, Maria was relaxing.
Deploys. Yeah. Plug my favorite game, yes.
Yes, yes!
Just like usual, Maria was relaxing, immersed in the TV, ooh-oohing and laughing just like any girl her age. But on the inside, another personality, that of the ideal which she respected and blindly accepted, was sleeping. But that wasn't anything extraordinary. It was perfectly natural for a girl of her age.
Wow.
I've calmed down a little. The shock from my bizarre experience in the kitchen just now is fading away. If I hadn't talked to Aniki and Jessica, I might still be frightened by the idea that the invisible witch is standing right behind me. However, can I really accept that as an explanation of what happened back there? If it had just been Maria, I could have explained it as the fickle delusions of a growing girl. But Genji-san, Kanon-kun, and Kumasawa Bachan had also been there. None of them had denied what Maria said. They silently accepted that Beatrice exists. I was starting to feel a little uneasy. Aneva's position was that no 19th person existed, that the crime was an inside job tied to the family quarrels. On the other hand, Aunt Natsuhi's position was that the culprit was hiding somewhere outside the mansion. So she rejected the possibility of an inside job and supported the idea that a 19th person existed. And in the kitchen, Maria and the servants had also supported the idea of a 19th person. But according to them, this 19th person wasn't human. They said it was an invisible witch carrying out some mysterious plan. Is there a 19th person or not? And is the culprit human or a witch? For some reason, I couldn't just laugh off any of these possibilities. Not even the most ridiculous story about the witch.
Wow.
Jessica, all I know about the story of the witch is that the adults made it up to keep the kids too scared to enter the forest. But is the story different here in the mansion?
I feel the same way. I feel the same way you do. Okay. I think it was just a stupid ghost story that parents made up so their kids would listen to them. But I can't deny that the atmosphere inside the mansion makes it a little hard to say it out loud.
After all, Grandfather has proclaimed that Beatrice exists. And because of their position, the servants can't doubt that. Even Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuhi don't want to get into a fight with him, so on the surface, they go along with it. So it's probably fair to say that doubting the existence of Beatrice is a taboo, live and work in this mansion. Unlike the rest of us, who only come here once a year. Is that right?
Jessica took a deep breath in admiration. It looked like Aniki had guessed right.
It's just like you say. No one really believes it on the inside. But on the outside, they accept that she exists. See, it's just like the way some people are about God. Even if they know God doesn't exist, they still, they feel like it'd be uncouth if they actually said it out loud.
How do you think the servants feel about it? Are they just going along with it because grandfather, their employer, says that she exists?
Well, I don't really know the details. But between the servants, the story about Beatrice has been treated like sort of a ghost story. Remember yesterday, when Shannon was talking to us down by the beach? That story about how one night, when she was doing the rounds in the mansion, she saw something unsettling?
She did say something like that, didn't she? Back then, I thought she was just being really nice to help improve Maria's mood. But it felt like she was serious when she said it. That's right, she definitely said it. She definitely said the same kind of thing that Genji and the rest had all unanimously declared back in the kitchen.
In addition, some servants have also seen the will-o-wisps and glittering butterflies dancing around. Ken-kun also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night. And recently, you often hear servants talking about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion at near midnight. We've whispered together that Beatrice-sama in the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. It happened a while ago, but even I have heard footsteps while patrolling at night that resemble these stories.
That's right, she definitely said that. Exactly the same thing that I had been told just now.
But there's nothing to be afraid of. Beatrice-sama is another ruler of this mansion, separate from the master. So there's no need to be unnaturally afraid. If you respect her, I hear she won't do anything bad.
However, she can be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right?
Correct. I've heard that just before I began working here. Someone who spoke badly about Beatrice-sama fell down the stairs and quit after receiving a large injury to their back. Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice-sama's anger had been brought down upon this person.
If you don't respect her, you'll suffer her wrath and get hurt. So, to the servants, Beatrice's existence is just as credible as the story that if you pull pranks on Inari-san, you'll receive Kitsune-sama's curse. Of course, even though everyone accepts that curses and the like don't exist in the modern era, people are still afraid and still have a little respect for them. You often see it when in a residential area, someone is building a house and they call a Shinto priest for a ceremony to honor the good of that plot of land. You might think that was just a big waste of time and money, but it's said that if the workers don't do that, a big accident will occur, so they never neglect it. You also hear about how if an Inari shrine is carelessly moved during a town replanning, there'd be a curse by Kitsune-sama. I think I might have read somewhere that when the occupying forces were trying to expand an airport, they tried to remove an Inari-san that was in the way, and the workers kept getting struck down by mysterious fevers. Even in modern cities like Tokyo, it wasn't rare to see modern buildings packed all around an old Inari shrine, leaving the shrine itself untouched. And this wasn't limited to Japan. It's probably similar to how foreigners baptize babies. If I remember right, by Christian doctrine, if unbaptized souls have even the slightest amount of sin, they'll still go to hell.
Wrong!
Hey man, that's only for Catholics.
True.
Correct.
Child's forehead doesn't do anything but make them cry.
Putting water on their forehead, nah, I got the full dunk, bro.
Now they're getting the water gun.
Full dunk, slap on
Yeah,
the
dude,
ass,
you remember
the
that
whole-
when they were doing that during COVID? The water gun baptism?
The water gun baptism!
Bro was like, in the name of the Lord, pew pew.
Pew pew!
Is that the one where the Catholic priest has the water gun? He starts shooting it
Yes!
into the crowd, and the kids just start. Ah!
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
You get fucked.
I love those videos.
Bro, why do I have no feed to the stream? I can't see anything for some reason.
Huh?
I got the double dip. I got the baby dip, and then I did the preteen dip.
I
got the
got
no dip.
baptized in a river, actually.
I got the no dip. I'm going to hell.
You got the John. Oh, you haven't dipped.
Yeah, that's really it's really
I'm gonna-
ironic because I'm an angel, but I'm going to hell. See you guys.
I'm gonna dip you, and by that I mean next time we're all near a pool, I'm
Just
booting
gonna-
you into the pool.
Well, are you? Give us the lore. Are you a born angel or were you once human? Because
Well,
I
I
was
was-
baptized when I was alive.
Well, I mean, I was born an angel. At least that's the lore I
Mhm.
remember.
Well, then you don't need to be baptized. You're already pure,
Woohoo!
idiot.
So in this world of you guys are angels and demons, what am I? Am I just like a human that you guys are like, yeah?
Well, I mean, the lore
So you think we don't?
for,
Yeah, you think we don't have computers?
the lore for
Come on.
the lore for stream is that everybody is transported to heaven for happy fun times. Because in the welcome stream, I say traveling to heaven. So I think you're just a human that we like. We suck you up. We just send you back down.
I thought I said to not touch me. I guess.
No,
my
no, a
instructions were
spiritual suck.
Oh, you don't think I include my spirit as my person?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Mori is Mori / Adam is my paladin orc.
Oh yeah. Orc. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
So
that
I'm
fucking...
just your cool Jesus, bro. I'm just
Yeah,
like-
you're
Yeah,
Jesus.
you're
You're
totally-
Jesus.
I'm the G. I'm the
That's
Jesus.
fine. That's fine.
But I'm not. But I'm not the son. I'm the father somehow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You are the
Does that
Holy
mean he-
Spirit.
Does that mean he needs a new Sprite?
Yeah, just give me give me a little shitty Halo or something.
That's fire.
Fucking cherub wings.
But if by doing just that, parents can prevent their children from going to hell, they'll happily go through with that ceremony. In short, even in this modern society of reason, we were still unable to throw away every trace of belief and fear. You could even say that we accept certain sorts of supernatural things, in a passive way. Maybe the only difference on this island is that Beatrice is the object of that worship.
I can't believe Battler's atheist, bro. It's so funny.
Yeah, dude. Well, what, maybe he's Satanist. He's got an upside-down cross for a zipper. You see that?
That's fire. You see it? That's fire.
I think he just reads too much like vampire manga. You know?
What if he's a big Reddit bro?
He is.
And he's like, get owned,
totally is.
libtards.
He is. Love him for that.
Battler, take the red pill.
Take the
Dude,
red pill.
he's already red. Look at his hair.
True.
He's been red-pilled.
Read.
Now, son, you better be red pilled.
Yeah, okay, hold on. She's mad that we're not reading. Sorry, we're being funny
I'm
instead.
joking.
So, in other words, if anything happens that doesn't seem explainable in human terms, it's called the work of Beatrice. And I think Shannon said it herself. Windows and doors and locks that were tightly shut would be open the next time you went to check them. Lights that should have been on went out, and lights that should have been out were turned on. And if I remember, even Jessica was joking about it, saying it was also the work of Beatrice when she couldn't find her bag in the morning.
Your memory's pretty good. Normally, you say some little imps took them, but on this island, it's Beatrice.
Imps?
Well, it's all pretty stupid, though.
This mansion has been standing for about 30 years by now, hasn't it? It's natural for things that get old to have their fair share of ghost and occult stories. Like the 7 mysteries at a school.
But that's where I'll spin
No!
the chessboard around. What a fucking dork.
Say
Time for
things
my
out of
epic
context.
main character moment.
That your mom taught you. Sorry, your stepmom.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Simply put, on this island, there's a rule that Beatrice gets blamed for anything that couldn't have been done by humans. Things that humans can't do. How many humans are here? 18. In other words, the culprit is using the rules of this island to make it look like a witch committed this crime. Which proves that they desperately want us to think a 19th person did it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
What do you mean you don't like it?
Let's assume some invisible 19th person exists and wants people to know they exist. If it were me, I'd do it with even more perfect timing.
What do you mean by perfect timing?
Well, The crime took place sometime between the middle of the night and dawn, right? We had some people who were talking together until the middle of the night, some people on night shifts, and some people who'd returned to their rooms and were sleeping. Everyone's alibi is really vague, so there's plenty of room to suspect that the crime was an inside job. George Aniki on Ava, they probably told you too, right? That there's a good chance this crime was an inside job.
Yes, I guess. Just like George Bush.
In other words, if this invisible 19th person really exists and wants to let us know it, the first crime was a complete failure. No, in the first place, they chose the wrong time of day to do it. If this invisible 19th person really wanted to show themselves, they had to make sure that the crime took place under conditions which proved that the remaining 12 people were all innocent. As long as there's a single human we can suspect, this 19th person's attempt to highlight their presence fails. That's why near midnight, when everyone's alibis are at their vaguest, the 19th person's existence is also at its vaguest. And yet the culprit chose to commit the crime at that time.
By committing the crime, then, one of the 18 would obviously be suspected. And yet, someone handed Maria the letter and called themselves a witch, even though everyone denies they did it.
In other words, you're trying to say that that one of the 18 is trying to make it look like a 19th person called Beatrice exists? That's a pretty crazy idea. I think Mom's theory about someone hiding outside the mansion is a bit more credible. Puddler, don't tell me you actually think someone in this room is the culprit.
I do. Someone's trying to force us to accept that Beatrice exists. That's right, this whole thing started as far back as the letter last night. I don't have any basis or proof, but with the chessboard turned around, this is my best guess.
Seriously, that's too crazy. You sure you haven't been reading too many weird detective novels?
However, it's an angle we can't ignore. Whether there's the 19th person or not, the culprit's definitely planning something involving that rule about this island. Just now, listening to Battlerkin talk, I remembered something that's a little disturbing.
Something disturbing?
Yes. Do you remember? Beatrice's letter. It said that Beatrice was going to collect interest. And by interest, it mentioned everything of the Yoshiromiya family.
Jessica and I fought back on what Maria had read aloud the previous night.
Yeah, it said that. It definitely said that. That the collection of the interest was going to take place shortly. But if the riddle of the gold could be solved, she'd lose that right.
Grandfather received the gold and rebuilt the Yoshiromiya family. In other words, according to Beatrice, everything created using the gold as capital counts as part of the interest. Which means...
That's pretty scary for a joke, Aniki. You don't mean everything of the Yoshiromiya family. In other words, everything that grandfather gave birth to. In other words, everyone with grandfather's blood flowing through their veins?
If you interpret the letter that way, these murders are just as Beatrice legitimately collecting interest. If that's the case, these crimes will continue. Because the collection of interest is still only halfway completed.
George turned around, looking over the parlor. There were still many people who held the name Ushiromiya. And because Goda-san and Shannon-chan had been killed, we knew that not even the servants were safe, despite lacking the Ushiromiya name.
So are they planning to kill us all? But that's weird, George Nissan. In that case, why only 6 people? They should have been able to kill a lot more.
Sorry, my brain is working.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is that why they insist on the servants referring to themselves as furniture and like property, and they changed their names and shit?
Possibly.
That's why they do it, isn't it? So that they'd also be included.
Well, I'm assuming, yeah, because Kinzo
yeah.
probably wanted them to be able to be sacrifices, right?
Yeah, he was the one who made them do that. So yeah.
Yes, that's probably why he did that, yeah.
At worst, it should have been possible for them to assault everyone while they were sleeping and kill them in a single night. Why didn't they do that?
Big brain. The special clause. If someone manages to solve the riddle of the gold, their right to the interest will be lost. And remember how the letter ended. It challenged us all to solve the riddle of Grandfather's gold.
Jesus! Looks like we're finally understanding the culprit's message. In other words, the culprit's telling us to try and solve the riddle on that epitaph Grandfather made. On top of that, they're saying that if we just sit around, they'll keep collecting the interest. I realize this is all based on several guesses that are way out there. But not everything that happens in this world fits together in a perfect line. Most of the events we don't understand are only individual points. By fitting them into a straight line, we're beginning to understand. When the points at either end of the line are really close, the line itself is more logical and easier to understand. And when those points are really far away, the opposite is true. It's the distance between those points that makes us say our guesses are way out there. However, if the distances we span are too narrow, that means our thinking will be narrow too. Is there a difference between making guesses and reasoning? Am I just using easily made guesses to try and force this crime into a pattern I can understand? No, that's not it. When you're lost in the dark and searching around with your hands, what you're doing is relying on your imagination and making guesses. Only imagination can find the points that need to be tied together. Reasoning is nothing more than the act of drawing lines between them. If you can't imagine, you can't reason. What I'm doing now might be way out there, but I'm sure it isn't a mistake either. Only the power of imagination can pull clues out from the darkness, and then I can use the power of reasoning to tie those clues together. It was a lot like the process of searching out an enemy's weak spot and striking. It's okay if I'm way out there. Find a weak point first. Then we can think about how to strike. Right now's the time to find points we can tie together later.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you remember that it's raining?
It's raining, and people are dying.
People are already dead.
And wet.
For the time being, I put aside whether a 19th person existed. Announced our theory that the goal of the culprit might have been to make us solve the riddle of the epitaph. Uncle Hideyoshi seemed to be extremely interested, but on Natsu said it was ridiculous and dismissed it.
Of course, if you think about it that way, even that letter from yesterday makes sense. That motive seems to fit pretty well with the facts. Setting aside whoever it was that gave Maria-chan the letter.
Beatrice exists!
Even though she was puffing up her cheeks in that cute way she'd been doing since yesterday, I couldn't think of it as cute. If I poked fun at her, it might suddenly transform into a creepy laugh.
There is no hidden gold. However, if the culprit is blindly sure of its existence, and if they're trying to make us solve the riddle before snatching the gold away for themselves, then I will agree it makes sense. However, if that were the case, why would they start by killing those most highly ranked in the Ushinomiya family?
I see your point. If they wanted to make us solve the riddle, killing those closest to Kinzo-san doesn't sound like a good plan to me.
I really like that you're voicing the doctor. It makes me laugh every time.
That's true enough. And if we're going with that argument, wouldn't it have been quicker to threaten father in the first place? You'd think it'd be faster to just ask the person who wrote it, rather than try to force us to solve it.
You got a point there. Still, I think it'll take more than your average threat to make father spill the beans.
Anyone who knows Kinzo-san well would probably realize that he won't bow to ordinary threats.
He's the man who bears responsibility for the Ushinomiya family and all its vast wealth. He's been exposed to many threats and attacks in the past. The family only prospers today because he was able to overcome all of them. Damn, she's sucking his dick hard.
I was gonna say, they all really love glazing this crazy guy.
Yeah, that's freaking right. I can't even imagine our grandfather obeying someone because of a threat.
Dude, even the kids. This guy's literally like terminally insane, and they're like, this guy's goat.
Jessica, watch your language.
Womp womp.
Yes, Mom.
In that case, what about this idea? No, wait, this one also way out there. I couldn't hesitate. Out there ideas are like bows and arrows. It might be hard to hit with, but it's a great weapon because you can hit enemies far away. They say most people who have died in battles were killed by arrow wounds. In a battle, you can't just shoot off one arrow. You shoot a whole bunch of arrows at once, pushing forwards towards the enemy troops with a wall of them. So keep shooting over and over. Create a wall as you push forward towards the truth. If the culprit is after the hidden gold, forcing us to solve the riddle wouldn't be very efficient for them. It'd be much quicker and easier to ask the person who made it in the first place. In that case, the question is this all a message directed at Grandfather? In other words, these murders were a threat made against Grandfather. If he wouldn't tell the culprit where the gold was, his family members would be killed off one by one. What if we weren't the only ones being forced to solve this riddle? What if Grandfather was too? If you think about it that way, it explains Grandfather's mysterious disappearance. If the culprit has already attacked Grandfather, then judging by the state the 6 corpses were left in, he should have been left on display somewhere with that horrible makeup added. But despite that, we still haven't found him. So does that mean Grandfather has been kidnapped and is being held somewhere?
How could... You aren't saying... How could... That sounds interesting. So Grandfather is being confined somewhere, and the culprit saying will be killed off one by one if he doesn't tell them where the gold is? It pains me to imagine how you find that interesting.
And Natsuhi glared at her, but Aunt Eva just smiled calmly.
Since we still haven't seen him after all this time, I think it's almost certain that Grandfather's gotten caught up in the crime. If you think about it, you can't just ignore Batlakun's theory, right?
Be quiet, George. In the first place, when did Father actually disappear?
Who was the last person to see Father?
It was probably me. This morning, when we didn't know where my husband and the rest were, we discussed the possibility of them being in Father's study, and I went to check his room and greeted him there. Come to think of it, I've been holding the key to his study this whole time, haven't I? Genji, let me return this to you.
Natsuhi pulled out the gold key and handed it to Genji. Looking at the key, Aunt Eva giggled.
Hey, Genji-san. I'm sure the police will inspect Father's room thoroughly. If there's anything hidden there, it'll just be exposed anyway. So, maybe it'd be better if you just told us about it right here, right now.
No, fuck that dude. Go look. He could lie.
What are you talking about?
It's simple. Father's study is a closed room with no way in or out except for that key, right? I want to verify whether that's true.
Yeah, tell us where Grandpa's coke is.
There is one entrance to Father's study. What about the window? Any other entrances or exits?
I'm sorry, I need water really bad.
It's okay, Twink.
Chat,
Chug,
there's a lot of dead bodies in hell. Obviously, I brought a little skull with me to drink water out of. It's pretty sick.
No! That's the lore of the
Remember,
skull
kids,
mug.
if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Who was that? That was what's his face? Mario from the Mario Brothers Super Show.
I think so.
Yep. The actor is Captain Lou Albano. He was actually a
So
wrestler.
crazy.
If you do drugs, you go to hell.
Hell,
You go to hell and you die.
That's so funny, bro.
He was a wrestler.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a part of the Anuai family, I'm pretty sure. He's related to The Rock and to Umaga and all the Samoan wrestlers.
That's cool trivia.
There are none. There's no way to get in except the entrance.
You're sure about that? There isn't some secret hidden door or anything? Since Father isn't here, I am the highest ranked member of the Ushinomiya family.
That makes her look so suspicious, bro.
I am asking you as a representative of the Ushinomiya family head. Remember that when you answer me. Are there any ways in or out of that room other than the main entrance? As father's closest aide, I'm sure you would know.
Fuck you.
And Natsuhi looked a little offended at the part about the highest-ranked family member. But she kept her mouth closed for the time being and waited for Genji's answer. I couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. Why was she going on and on about hidden doors?
You too, Kennen-kun, Kumasawa-san. If you know, won't you tell me? If there is one.
If they're bloodline and patriarchal based, isn't Battler in charge right now?
Nor because...
No, because they said she was like a unique case because of the fact that like she couldn't like find a husband or have a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay. If there is one, it'd be better if you said so. Otherwise, a certain person might be driven into a corner in a second. If we assume that there is a hidden door, then my argument comes to nothing.
Aneva didn't specify which person was about to be driven into a corner, but following the flow of the conversation, I had to feel that she was referring to Ann Natsuhi.
Mother, what are you talking about?
Dude, how did he grow up to be so nice when he's got such a bitch mom?
Because he has a nice dad.
True.
George, stay quiet for a bit. What do you say? Genji-san? Kanon-kun? Or Kumasawa-san? Is there a hidden door? Or not? Genji-san, when you remodeled Father's study, you must have overseen the construction. I won't let you say you don't know.
There is nothing like that in the master's study.
You're sure? What about Kanon-kun, the one who's allowed to wear the one-winged eagle?
That's right, I'm sure. There is no such hidden door in the master's study.
Kumasawa-san?
No, I haven't heard of such a thing.
Bro, why couldn't she get killed? This bitch is annoying.
What about Father Nanjo? You've had a close relationship with Father.
Father Nanjo?
Sorry, Dr. Nanjo, my bad.
I'm a doctor, not a priest. I don't know.
Very well then! So are you ready? Let me begin. It's very simple.
Everyone tilted their head doubtfully, wondering what Aneva was starting to talk about so proudly. Aneva laughed triumphantly as though she were about to reveal a secret only she knew.
Natsuhi-san.
Wait. I'm sorry. I have to shit really bad. Could we go on break for just a second?
Okay, break time. Shit.
I will also bop.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm gonna get to the bathroom and freshen my water.
You guys, you know what's up. I'm gonna see you at the fucking word game.
Captain Lou Albano.
I'm gonna see you at the word game. Peace. We'll be right back.
Captain Lou Albano. Going ghost.
We're back.
We're going ghost.
Hello.
We're gonna catch him all because he's Belarus.
All right,
Gonna catch him all because he's Belarus.
Ava is about to UMINEKO all over everybody.
Yeah. I'm gonna
All right, bro. That's weird.
When Battler came in and said it's Neko time.
I really knew the story was there.
Real.
It was-
Hold
it was
on.
getting good.
I have to turn off the AC.
When she umi on my neko till I cry.
Okay, I'm back.
We've been silent. Okay, I was gonna say we've been silent for like 5 seconds. That's too long.
Ready to, we ready to spin this chessboard around?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Annie, buddy,
Yeah.
pal, amigo,
Yes.
Beatrice, real.
Beatrice exists?
Oh God.
Natsuhi-ne-san was the last person to spot Father, right? I forget the exact time, but I think it was a little before 9 in the morning. Ne-san, do you remember? I ran into you just as you were coming out of Father's study, right?
Pink Panther music.
Yes, I remember. What does that have to do with anything? And when was the next time you went to visit Father's study? That was after we found the bodies of Nissan and the rest, right? Together with me, went up to the study to report that we discovered he wasn't there. Blah 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 blah. By the way, Ne-san, at that time, when you went to enter Father's study, did you notice anything? Notice anything? What are you talking about? Come on, you picked up some trash, right? A folded receipt. I do seem to remember picking up some trash. How is that relevant? I got that receipt when I bought some candy at a store before arriving at the airport.
Aunt Ava pulled out a small bag of candy out of her handbag.
Ah, the receipt from that candy you bought back there. But, Mother, what does the receipt have to do with anything?
George, stay quiet and listen for just a bit longer.
Y'all suck.
They're both telling them. Oh fuck, the word game's still going. Shut up, word game.
Bro, Uncle Hideyoshi's expression was a little strict. Apparently, he understood what Aunt Ava was getting at.
It really was just a whim. I definitely didn't foresee anything, or try to set up a trap for Natsuki Ne-san or anything like that. Actually, about that receipt. Ne-san, do you remember bumping into me right after the last time you saw Father, right? At that time, I wedged this into the door to the study.
So, what does that mean? Are you saying no one opened the door until Aunt Natsuki picked up that receipt?
Wait a second, Aunt Ava. Wedging a receipt in would be obvious. It's possible that when Grandfather opened the door, he noticed it, found it amusing, and stuck it back in the door.
Jessica hurriedly argued back. She still didn't really know what all this meant, but she realized that whatever it was, it would raise suspicions about her own mother.
Of course, I folded the receipt up very small so that no one would notice it. But even if you assumed that he saw it fall, you would have no way of knowing how high up the door it had been stuck, right? I checked it while Natsuki Ne-san was taking the key out. The receipt was still stuck, not 1 millimeter away from where I put it. I can't understand why you would pull such a childish prank. I'll bet you were the one who did that prank on the door to my room, too.
The door to your room?
It was unpleasant to talk about, so I never mentioned it. But when I woke up this morning, there were signs of some prank on the outside of my door, with what was probably the same red paint that was scribbled across the shutter. There were some unpleasant marks, as though someone had been tearing at the door.
Wait, what's this? Why'd you keep quiet about this until now?
My apologies. Since so many horrible things have occurred since then, I had completely forgotten about it until this moment. I don't know anything about that. I'm not talking about your door, but the door to Father's room, right? Between the time you confirmed that he was in his room and the time we confirmed that he wasn't, that door wasn't open even once. How did Father get out if he didn't use the door? I don't know that! That's what I want to know!
Natsuki Ne-san, other than you, who else checked to see whether Father was in his room?
Last night, the last time I met Kinzo-san was when we were playing chess. So I was with him until just before dinner.
Who saw him after that? I did. I gave him dinner last night.
Yes, Shannon and I were with him.
So at that time, Father was still definitely in his room. However, Natsuki Ne-san, when you found out he wasn't there, it looks like all ways in or out of the study were closed, right? But even so, you said you met with him this morning.
I don't understand why everyone has become so gloomy. Could someone
Everyone's
please explain
dead.
it to me?
You're a doctor, bro. You should be smarter.
Father and Mother, are you saying what Natsuki says about meeting Grandfather this morning was a lie?
Like hell she'd lie about that. Mom's guiltless. Why would she lie? Jessica, I keep telling you to watch your language.
Wham, wham.
Oh, gutless, I think is.
Oh.
No, she said guiltless.
Oh.
Tee.
Why would she tell her to watch her language?
Because she was like, hell no, or whatever.
Oh, okay.
All at once, the whole room was in an uproar. Aunt Ava and Aunt Natsuhi confronted each other across the parlor table, with George confronting Jessica. What the heck's going on?
Many people spotted him last night, right? But since this morning, the only one who claims to have seen Father is Natsuhi Ne-san. And then there's that strange fact we learned from my receipt. So, how can we connect these points together?
Aunt Ava urged everyone to imagine it. Sure, that receipt could become an important point. But I didn't know which other points to tie it to, or how. If we try searching for the answer Aunt Ava probably wants, we'll find that Aunt Natsuhi lied and acted as though Grandfather was in the room this morning. Has that fact been exposed by a whim of Aunt Ava's?
I don't get it at all. Why would Mom have to lie? She had no reason to, right? And that's what I want to know. But Jessica-chan, you can't be sure she had no reason to lie and say that Grandfather was in the room. After all, you see it in mystery novels every now and then. That trick where people fake the time of death to create an alibi for themselves. What are you talking about? I've never heard of that! We still haven't found Father yet, but it's pretty natural to assume he's already been killed. If that's true, there's no doubt we'll find his corpse soon. If at that point, the time of death could be cleverly faked, Natsuhi Ne-san would be able to create an alibi. Do you understand, everyone?
This morning, when Aunt Natsuhi confirmed that Grandfather was there, she lied. And he was already dead at that time? And then she moved the body to some other location and tampered with it so that when we find it, we'll think he was killed just a second ago. That'd make it impossible for her to create an alibi. Or that'd make it possible for her to create an alibi, the exact opposite of what I said. Even just by staying with the rest of us. Then she could say, I heard someone screaming, dash over there, and become the first to find the body along with everyone else. Is that what Aunt Ava's saying?
Ridiculous. After all, detective novels are merely books for the purpose of entertainment. You can only think of such an indiscreet idea because you read them all the time. That's right. Even if she did try to fake the time of death a little, all that would be blown away in an instant once the police did their autopsy. Blah, blah, blah. That might have worked in the past, but do you really think that kind of trick would work on modern Japan? It doesn't make sense. You think so? This morning, when Dr. Nanjo looked at the corpses, he was only able to give a vague estimate of the time of death, right? Autopsy results are easily affected by the environment and individual differences. It's a very relative estimate with an uncertainty of several hours.
Check the freezer!
And unfortunately, the police's scientific investigation will have to wait until tomorrow. It wouldn't be easy to measure the correct time of death so accurately even in modern Japan. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
Examining a corpse is an extremely difficult task that requires both experience and instinct. I have heard that there is a very high chance of mistaken diagnosis. I imagine it is very possible for a misreading of just a few hours to occur.
However, for an alibi, that's more than enough. It's an old trick. It's a trick that works well enough. Natsuhi Ne-san, it's not like we want to suspect you, okay? We just want you to prove your innocence so we don't have to suspect you.
What is innocence you want me to
prove?
Oh,
she's holding the gun now. She's holding the gun now. She's gonna kill everybody.
This morning, I definitely met with Father. And he told me to keep the one-winged eagle engraved in my heart. Are you denying that he said that too?
I forget. Did we see this happen?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah. I will certainly
That's what I thought.
not
I couldn't
permit
remember.
that. I won't let you deny that Father said those words. Or maybe Father's body won't appear anywhere. Normally, a person has to be missing for 7 years before they're officially dead. Wouldn't that be a clever way to extend Father's nearly finished life another 7 years and keep all of his wealth for yourself? Oh God. I can't let you get away with saying that!
Holy shit!
I can't let you get away with saying anymore! I am Ushiromiya Natsuhi. Although I do not have the right to wear the one-winged eagle on my body, it is certainly engraved on my heart. What do you think you're saying to the wife of Kraus, successor to the head, and the one who will act as such in his place? What's this?
Are you trying to shoot me with that gun? Go ahead. If only you just shoot. You're just desperate because you can't think of a way out, right? Do it. Just try to obscure the truth with violence. You...
Oh my god.
Stop racking it! There's a shell on the ground now.
It wasn't like Natsuhi had been actually holding that gun at the ready and threatening anyone. But she was egged on by Eva. She did hold it at the ready. Unsurprisingly, once things got to this stage, Jessica and Genji-san tried to stop her.
Madam, please calm yourself.
Mom, you aren't lying. So there's no reason for you to listen to this.
Calm down, Natsuhi-san. All you've got to do is swear that Father was definitely in that room. Why are you getting so worked up?
That is correct. Natsuhi-san isn't lying. Shouldn't that be the end of it?
Then I want you to explain. How did Father manage to disappear from the room? The window was closed tight from the inside. The same was true for the door, right? This morning, if you really met with Father, then you must explain how Father disappeared from this unopenable door, closed room scenario. If you don't, that'd mean you're lying after all, right?
How far do you plan to mock me? If you want to argue back, go ahead. That's right. Try explaining it right here, right now. If you do, I'll apologize for suspecting you. How did Father manage to get out from that closed room? I cannot explain, and there's no need for me to do so.
Really? Then let me explain it. Let's take the best parts from my perspective and yours and come up with a more friendly explanation. I'll believe what you said about Father still being in his room this morning. However, the next time the door was open, Father wasn't there. You don't have any objections so far, right?
I have no desire to hear anything more you have to say. Shut your frivolous mouth.
My reasoning goes like this, okay? I'm going to keep talking. I can confirm that on both occasions, you were the only one to go through that door. And the receipt proves it. So what's the answer to the puzzle of how Father left the room? The window. He was sent out the window. Natsuhine-san, you threw Father out of the third-story window of the study into the courtyard.
You!
Madam, please endure it.
Eva-sama, please stop this.
After that, when you left and said you were going to check the doors and windows, you took Father's corpse, which had fallen into the courtyard, and hid it. That was probably when you took some measures to fake the time of death, right?
She's always pointing that little thing.
This ties in with the case regarding Kraus Nissan and the rest, and also the case regarding Beatrice last night. There's a really good chance we've got reason to suspect Natsuhi-san in all those cases. Normally I wouldn't want to say this, but now that it's out in the open, there's nothing else I can do. Please, Natsuhi-san, please explain how you can be innocent. Otherwise, I can't help but suspect you.
Why me? Why must I, Ushinomi and Natsuhi, be insulted like this?
She's tweaking!
That was fire.
I hummed. Looks like we've got everyone's views on the record now. It's useless. It's all useless, Eva.
What do you mean useless?
Jessica looked up at me, hanging on to my every word. Eva's expression was confident as ever.
Bye, Nix. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Useless, you say? What is? Battle-kun, tell me.
You're only convinced it was on Natsuhi because you're only looking at the case from a single angle.
You need to. Oh.
It's not like I'm defending her, but that bluff of a checkmate isn't gonna fly.
Oh my god, if you say it.
I think your reasoning regarding that receipt was passable.
Next time we stream, we need to take a shot of something every time he says spin the chessboard around, or it's useless.
It's not a bad thread of logic, but I'd only give it a grade of 65 at best.
Shut the fuck up.
If this were an exam, that'd be bad enough to get you free extra lessons in detention, right?
Oh my. Well, how do you think anyone could break through the door sealed by my receipt and make father disappear? Other than by my theory.
It's true that your theory's an interesting one. And if you could say for sure that there was no way to make grandfather disappear, then you probably would be able to prove that the last person to see him, and Natsuhi, was guilty. However, since there's still a possibility she's innocent and these accusations are false, we can't be sure about that.
Then, Baralu-kun, are you saying someone other than Natsuhi Ne-san made grandfather disappear? It'd be impossible for anyone else to do it. My receipt proved that, right? After the first time she visited that study, and until the second time when we visited it together, the study was a perfect closed room. And when the seal was broken on the closed room, he was already missing. If that doesn't prove she's the culprit, what kind of trick could they have used?
Like I said, Eva, only 65 points. So let's try spinning the chessboard around, shall we?
Oh my god.
The question isn't how someone managed to make grandfather disappear from the outside. We should think about how grandfather disappeared from the inside. The door had the receipt stuck in it, so it couldn't have been used. He also couldn't have gone through the window, because you can't lock it from the outside. And when Eva visited the study, she checked to make sure it was locked. So the window also wasn't used. At that point, the study really was a closed room. We have to accept this. However, the study didn't remain a closed room forever. Once the seal created by the receipt was removed, it'd be possible for someone to escape by the door. In other words, the question isn't how Natsuhi made grandfather disappear. We need to think about how he was able to escape. Grandfather's study isn't an ordinary study, right? According to Genji-san, there's a toilet and a kitchen and even a bedroom, almost like a little house. For example, what if he was hiding under the bed and the two of you only thought he was missing? Eva, even you didn't check that far, right? And then the two of you went back down the stairs thinking he wasn't there. At that time, the receipt was already gone. In other words, if grandfather was hiding in his room the whole time, it was a closed room. And escape. Yeah, what? Dude, what did he say before? I misread that. Whatever. In other words, if grandfather was hiding in his room the whole time... Oh, the whole time it was a closed room. I see what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay. And escaped after letting the two of you go past him, we can crack this closed room right open.
What are you talking about? Why would father need to escape the room in such a bizarre fashion? Don't be so absurd.
Yeah, it might be absurd. However, it still shows that there's a possibility Natsuhi is being falsely accused. Your receipt wasn't perfect. In chess, we might call that check, but it isn't checkmate. But the thing that really pisses me off is how you're pressuring Natsuhi to explain it, then claiming she must be guilty if she doesn't. If you want to go down that road, then why don't you let me, Shiromiya Battler, spin the chessboard around one more time?
Yes!
Oh my god.
Eva, according to your own argument, you must explain to us why you and Uncle Hideyoshi couldn't have killed those 6 last night and then casually returned to the guest house. You've been trying to force Aunt Natsuhi to explain, so I'm sure you can prove your own innocence, right? Especially now that all of Grandfather's wealth has suddenly plopped down right into your hands.
That's right! You're suspicious enough yourself, aren't you? If you say Mom's suspicious because she was the last person to see him, then what about you, Aunt Eva, the last person to see Dad and the rest? Just like Battler said, prove that you two weren't the ones who killed them.
Mother, I also think your reasoning was a little overeager. I'm sure the receipt was an important hint. But like Batlakun said, that's not enough to prove that Aunt Natsuhi was responsible for some plot. We're all equally suspicious. It's not right for only Aunt Natsuhi to be persecuted.
Our proud father crawling under his bed? You call nonsense like that an explanation?
Could have been standing in the bathroom.
Yeah, it could have been a lot of things, really.
In that case, why don't you explain first? Who killed those 6? And how? And then try showing us proof that you weren't involved.
Oh my god. She's dead.
Don't make
She's dead.
yourself
She's dying.
actually cough.
She has TB. Oh my god. What is happening?
Oh my god, did she just like actually fall ill?
Milady! Milady!
Jessica suddenly started coughing. At first, I thought she was just choking after yelling too loud, but before long, I realized how painful it looked. Jessica kept coughing and choking down on her hands and knees.
Jessica, hang in there. Dr.
Is she about
Nanjo!
to die?
I don't know.
Jessica-san, your inhaler, quickly. No, wait, I have
You
one
got
with me.
asthma?
Wait, Bree, real quick, can you pull up you said did they have the poem?
Huh?
The riddle?
Huh?
Oh. Yeah, I got you. Let me save.
Can you pull up the riddle real quick?
Yeah, let me save.
I want to see if it mentions something about like a disease or someone falling for. Hold on.
Does it?
Because it mentions the deaths.
One second.
Okay, tear apart the two who are close. Yeah, Sharon's
Okay, we're on
dead.
the second twilight, right? Those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close.
You guess. Yeah.
Of the six
I think he
chosen
might
for
just have
six-
asthma.
On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. Who are the two closest still that
I mean,
remain?
George's parents.
Well, I mean, also, though, you could interpret it differently as the two who are closest to the gold.
Yeah, you could interpret it that way, or just two
But
close
I
together.
don't know. Yeah. 'Cause I don't know. Maybe we just haven't seen them come into conflict yet. But because I'm thinking, because technically, Natsuhi and Ava are the people closest to the gold, right? Because she technically has all the inheritance right now,
I mean, I
and
guess
she's
so.
the wife of the original heir.
I guess so.
Don't play with me. I guess so. You know what happens.
Yeah, but I can't say shit.
Yeah, but you're trying to make me doubt myself, bro.
Well,
I can sense it.
Well,
You're trying to misdirect.
How about you spin the chessboard around and think that maybe I'm actually trying to support you and your ideas?
No, you're trying to keep me on my toes so that I don't know what'll happen, and then I'll be like,
It's useless.
I almost said something like my mom or my uncle would have said. I was like, "How about you spin your head, huh?"
I'll fucking make your head spin.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Spin me right round. Okay.
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 Well, wait, do we have a consensus on what we think is happening with the riddle then? Or are we
Well,
just
I can't say shit
postulating?
apparently.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't know if it's clear yet.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it.
Mhm.
I just wondered if it mentioned anything about a malady or something like that. But okay.
I gotcha. Dr. Nanjo pulled a bronchodilator inhaler from his own bag, which was lying on the sofa, and handed it to Jessica. Come to think of it, 6 years ago, didn't Jessica sometimes break into violent coughing fits and have to use that? However, 6 years ago, I never saw Jessica look like she was in this much pain.
She had an asthma attack.
Aniki, was Jessica's asthma always this bad?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot worse these last few years. It's no problem when she's normal, but when an attack comes suddenly, she can't stop coughing anymore.
Milady, your medicine. Here.
Shake, shake, shake that medicine.
Taking the inhaler from Cannon-kun, Jessica used it with a practiced hand. It looked like her throat would still itch for a while, but she had it under control.
Not a throat is so
Are you okay, Jessica? You scared me.
It's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I swear to God, every time I read as Battler, I'm like 2 octaves away from being Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's me, Battler! Ushinomiya!
Beads of sweat covered Jessica's whole body, and she couldn't hide for her rough breathing. But it looked like her sudden attack had calmed down for now.
George is gonna slowly turn into Knuckles.
They all turn into Sonic characters. This disturbance had made the dangerous atmosphere up until now seem slightly unfocused. But that's fine. That kind of battle of mutual suspicion is completely unnecessary. When you think about it, finding alibis for each other and looking for the culprit is probably meaningless. After all, we're just powerless, ordinary people, with a lot of money. And when the police come tomorrow, they'll definitely employ cutting-edge techniques and investigate the case thoroughly. Solving all the riddles and arresting the culprit.
Perhaps Battler-kun is right after all. Just as Natsuhine-san is suspicious, I can't ignore the fact that I'm suspicious too. Arguing about that now will surely be unproductive. everything will be fine if we just leave it to the police tomorrow. But don't you want to know too, Battle Raccoon? Who the culprit is? Don't you want to let them know the pain you feel from losing someone precious to you as soon as possible?
I won't deny that. Even one day would be too long to let the wonderful bastard who's behind this go. But that doesn't mean that I want to suspect one of the 18. Even though I said what I said earlier, I don't even want to suspect you, UMINEKO. Even though you're a bitch. To me, you're an awesome aunt who's always fun and playful. And a bitch. I don't want to trade insults with an aunt like that. I wouldn't want to do that with anyone here. Right? Everyone?
I feel the same way as Batlacoon. It's pointless to trade insults. It's probably just the stress built up because so many people have been crammed into one place since morning. And also, half of our family and loved ones are dead. My wife.
My wife is dead.
Yeah, whatever that means, probably. It's only natural. It may not be my place to say it, but I think we should all relax as much as possible because nobody I love is dead.
Mustache.
Eva, I think we'd better cool our heads too. The receipt's definitely a big clue for figuring out how Father disappeared. We should tell the police about it when they come.
That's right. Right. I just felt a little triumphant when I figured out that part with the receipt. Of course, it isn't fair to only suspect Natsune-san, right? We're just as suspicious. But still, Battle-kun, at least the part about the receipt is real, okay? Don't forget it. And try thinking deeply about what it means one more time, okay?
Yeah, whatever. Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi stood up. It looked like they planned on leaving the parlor.
In the end, it's pointless for us to keep playing detectives. After all, the police will reveal everything anyway.
That's right. Even if we don't play this detective game, the typhoon will soon pass. And when those lively seagulls return to the harbor, everything will settle itself.
Those lively UMINEKOs.
That's right. If you think about it, this kind of crime is completely trivial. It'll definitely be resolved. Even if we do nothing. When the seagulls cry.
That's, oh my god, it's the title!
Wow.
Natsune-san, I take it you don't want to see my face anymore. I feel the same. If I remember correctly, yesterday, you had some rooms prepared for us in the mansion so that we wouldn't need to go back to the guest house, right? Those should each have a bath and a toilet, as well as a lock and a chain to secure the door. There's even a bed to lie on, and my husband will be able to watch TV without having to fight with Maria-chan over which channel to watch, right? Do whatever you want, but make sure to be cautious. Thank you, Ne-san. And mind your own business. I'll be counting on you to keep an eye on everyone, okay? Because the culprit is definitely here. And Ne-san, make sure you don't forget to keep an eye on yourself, too. Have you finished taking your parting shots? Yes, I'm finished. See you, Natsune-san. Genji-san, let us know when it's time for dinner. Until then, we'll lock ourselves in with the chain. Genji, Kenan, escort them to the guest room. We'll be fine. I hate shady escorts. In fact, it'd be more comfortable if nobody leaves this room until we reach ours. Let's go, George.
Oh!
I'll stay here with everyone.
George! The culprit is in this room. Do you plan on staying in a place like that?
Leaving this room would be the same as suspecting one of my relatives. I can't believe anyone in our family is capable of something that horrible.
George! Darling, you tell him too.
George is already an adult man. If his code tells him not to leave this room, then it's up to him. Let him do what he wants.
Father.
Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi left. The only voice that called after them was the sound of the rain.
Quick, now somebody choke out Maria until she's
Not Maria! Not Maria.
Been waiting for that. The parlor was being buried beneath the savage atmosphere. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to find that it was already evening.
If this happened to my family and one of my cousins started acting like that, they're getting duct taped to a wall until the cops get there.
Oh, this would never happen to my family because we can't be in the same room.
Great.
Just, I don't imagine the Mexican version of this where nothing bad happens.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Dude,
they just all get
everyone's
drunk as shit.
Yeah, everyone's drunk.
Eddie, you and I should write the Hispanic family VN.
Dude, we gotta.
That'd be so good.
Had we really spent that much time worrying about needless things, talking with each other, fighting with each other? Feeling bored, I started scratching at my head when Maria and I made eye contact.
Oh my god.
I was a little surprised, since I thought she was completely immersed in the TV. I believe it now. The letter, the murders, everything. It was all Beatrice. In fact, I almost feel like begging her to come out and take credit for it all. I want it to be the work of a 19th person. Otherwise, the 18 of us will have to keep on suspecting each other. I think believing in a 19th person is better than that. Bringing grandfather outside without opening the doors or windows must be a piece of cake for Beatrice, right? Maria, after taking a single short breath, hung her head and then raised her face again.
That's right.
Boy.
Locking a door is useless against the witch. Beatrice is familiar with all 72 demons. The 33rd ranked gap gives the power to instantly carry the desired person to any location.
Oh, is she quoting the Keys of Solomon now? This is actual demon shit. Hold on.
I think so, yeah.
To her,
I mean, dude, it's like, it's real stuff that exists. They just study it, you know?
To her, taking a person out of any closed room isn't hard at all, you see.
Witches sure are incredible. Tell her, if she feels like committing another crime, to do it in a way that no human could. And make me believe that a 19th person, no, a witch exists.
Yeah, that's a direct reference to the Lesser Key of Solomon. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. If I meet her, I'll tell her.
Crap. Nothing's made sense to me for a while now.
Me on Amazon.
Just when I want to
buying the
believe in
Lesser
a
Key of
19th
Solomon.
person, I deny it. And just when I want to believe there are only 18 people, I deny that too. Even though I want there to be more than just the 18 people here, I can't accept the existence of that 19th person. In short, even though there are more than 18 people, there are less than 19 people. The number of people in this mansion is 19, followed by X, followed by 18. So the number of people can't be represented by any integer. However, it's impossible for there to be anything after the decimal point. You shouldn't be able to show the number of people with anything but an integer. And yet, 19x18. How do you explain the fraction less than 1? It's no wonder. That 19th person was something that couldn't be seen. That's why, since you can only write the number of people as an integer, you couldn't see that person. That which cannot be seen. Because Beatrice has no body. Therefore, she's invisible. Is there a 19th person or not? Does the witch exist or not? 19x18. The witch exists somewhere in that variable.
La la la.
Ah! Sorry, that scared me. I didn't think it would do that. Oh my god, the clock's getting bigger! Guys, the clock's getting bigger, guys! Guys, the fucking clock's getting bigger.
I do have to shower. Do you mind if we call it there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the little pushing, that's always a good place to end.
What do you think, Bree?
I mean,
is that all right?
I
Is
mean,
it a decent spot?
whatever you want. Whatever you want, mama.
That's not what I'm asking.
Whatever
I'm asking.
Whatever you want, mama.
Whatever you want, mama.
That's her way of saying yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Next time we'll do this when Lanny's mouth is all healed up, and it'll be epic.
first stream.
Hooray, hooray. Yeah.
That was the first stream. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Yay!
I'm tired.
Damn. Okay, everyone, goodbye. Have a good night,
Bye,
okay?
chat.
Bye. It's been
Bye,
epic.
bye.